We're a bit stuffed, really, aren't we? I think we find ourselves in a messy situation. I think you would also agree. What do I mean by this? I mean, in the media and digital landscape, we really don't know what's going on, or we see the mess that's going on, or the uncertainty that we feel and experience about what's going to happen with AI, what's going on in the media landscape. And so we feel like we're completely out of the picture because I think, as a citizen and a user of technology, it's often the case that we are sort of the last to know about something. We know this whenever there's an AI development, it's going to be shared in a press release from one of the big names. One of the big names will share a press release, and then it will come through some media outlet. I don't know whether it will reflect exactly as the press release was originally written, but we usually find out about things through multiple media outlets, and then it goes to influencers, commentators within the space, and then they will regurgitate it in their own way through their own interpretation. And so before you know it, you as a citizen and the user, you don't really know exactly what's going on unless you feel completely satisfied with the breadcrumbs that have just been fed to you. I know I'm not, which is why I started this channel in the first place. It went through a really interesting journey, and that's why I'm doing this reset. I'm pushing the reset button over here because I think what we really need to do in this period of time, and I've learned this through this journey of my channel, is that we need to arm ourselves with the right information, but not just that. We need to approach processing this information in the right way. So there are lots of things about our psychology and our way of thinking that we are perhaps not aware of. And that's what I want to talk about more over here on my channel. Also, there are many things about the media and digital landscape that we're not aware of, and I'd like to bring that to your attention as well. So there are two things here. It's not just the information that you need and as verified as possible, but it's the approach to the information, how you process it, our way of thinking, our way of processing information. We have sort of adopted this almost reactive way of processing information where we're just doing what we can with the time that we're given, or we're doing what we can with the information we're given. And it's just not cutting it. I know it's not cutting it for you. It's definitely not cutting it for me. So we're stuffed if we don't do anything about it. But we're not if we can arm ourselves with a bit more awareness of how our brains work, how we consume and process information, how we interpret things, and then what things do we need to process? Where is the information coming from? And that's also why I'm an affiliate with Ground News. I've done a couple of videos already where I've highlighted Ground News and talked about how, we're in this world where so many algorithms have a lot of bias, and you can't trust. You don't know what or whom to trust. And what Ground News does, it brings it all together, all titles from all over the world, and you're able to actually see where the political bias is on a sliding scale for each story that you see. So check that out. There's a 15%, 15% discount on a subscription. I have the Vantage plan, so check it out. The link is in my description. So verifying information is so important. That's why I lean on resources like Ground News. But then knowing how am I how processing this? What is my cognitive bias? Where do I normally lean? And you've got to challenge your assumptions. And I've been talking about that forever on my channel, especially during all the live streams that I did in the last few months. And actually, probably not so much in the last couple of months. It kind of went downward because I felt so frustrated with the same talking points and the same repeated, I would say, propaganda that sometimes we even fall victim to and that we end up spouting and repeating in discussion. So the comment section was starting to look a little bit messy. And so I felt like we needed to do a reset. So this is your reset. This is my reset for my channel. And if you go all the way to the beginning, you will notice that that's actually what my intention was, to talk about media literacy. But the one thing that has sort of really stood out to me as I really get deep into my studies with systems thinking, as an MSc, I'm now realizing that there's a bit of work that we need to do before we just arm ourselves with the right information. And that is, how are we processing this information? Are we aware of how this is working up here, our dome? Are we aware of the things that might be getting in our way of when we're interpreting things, processing things? And that's what I really want to talk about, because you see, there is a lot of uncertainty. There is a lot of uncertainty in this age that we're in now. There's a lot that is being said and not being said. We're always the last to know. And if that can't change, what can we change? How are we then going to process and interpret things without it negatively impacting us, our minds, our decisions, and our choices? So that's really the aim of this channel. It's been the aim of the channel for a long time. Perhaps it just took me a little longer to get really clear on the bit before the information. This isn't just about us improving our media literacy and our critical thinking. It's, what is our thinking? What are the different modes of thinking? How do we think? How do we process? I'm not a neurologist, a neuroscientist, but there is a lot of information available to us, and I will bring that information to you. And so that's what will be coming your way on my channel. I really appreciate your support. Thank you for supporting me in all the different ways that you have been doing. It's a big year. There's lots going on in UK politics and in US politics, as well as politics across the globe. So I would love to hear from you in the comments. As always, thank you for being a supporter, and I'll see you in the next one.